The headline today is, the Trump administration has sought phone records of Times journalists and their relatives. That's the crux. The Justice Department told the New York Times late last week that subpoenas were issued to third-party phone service providers, demanding the phone and text messaging records of several reporters. Not just the reporters, the subpoenas also covered calls and messages on the phones of two of the reporters' spouses, and even one reporter's mother. The purpose, according to the government paperwork, was to unmask the confidential sources that supplied material for stories about the security capabilities of President Trump's new, Qatari-donated Air Force One jet. This isn't a first-time sleuthing. About a week earlier, on July 10, the government had already issued subpoenas that sought to compel these same reporters to testify before a federal grand jury. So you have two round trips of subpoenas, each more intrusive than the last. The Times lawyers described the whole black market as an extraordinarily aggressive and unorthodox attempt to dig into the sources of independent journalists whose reporting had off-kilter the president. In a motion filed Saturday, the paper demanded the subpoenas be quashed, arguing that the city had waited a full week before notifying them about the phone record requests, violating its own guidelines for media subpoenas. The deeply concerning delay was called a violation of DOJ policy. The Times framed this as a bad faith effort to intimidate journalists and chill their ability to cover the administration. A judge, Arun Subramanian in New York District Court, unsealed the Times motion on Monday morning. He paused all subpoenas pending a ruling, and a hearing is set for Thursday in Manhattan. Why the hard line? The government's investigation began days after the Times ran a story that federal officials had significant concerns about the security capabilities of the new Air Force One. Trump was furious. In response, the White House directed FBI Director Kash Patel to oversee the investigation. Trump even flew on the Qatari-built jet to Turkey, showing off its glazed gold interior to reporters, only to swap to the older Air Force One at the Secret Service's urging. The next day, Trump quipped that the new jet would be maxed out in about a month or so. It was a circus, and the Times stood at the center. Now the DOJ is combing phones to eavesdrop on the sources, where no one has claimed they should be accessed. The Times has said that the DOJ violated its own internal safeguards, and that the effort is a chilling message to the press. The subpoenas remain on hold until Judge Subramanian has a chance to rule on the motion to quash. The hearing will take place Thursday. Whether the court sides with the Times or goes the other way remains to be seen. If this lawsuit goes forward, it could set a precedent for how aggressively the government can reach into private communications of journalists, and it could reshape the boundary between transparent reporting and national security. That's all the info we have right now. We'll keep you posted when the court's decision comes down. Stay tuned, and thanks for listening. Until next time, keep your phones secure, keep your sources safe, and keep questioning authority.